Second, let me get this. Whew, that was fast. We live. I hope. Assume.
It
How's
says
everybody doing?
it's Wednesday.
That was
We're between the pits.
between ready
Yeah. We
live
got
action.
we got something cool this weekend or this week. We got Jason coming on with us and do kind of story time, I guess. Talk about
Yeah, we got
the olden
we
days of
did
race. That's
the
something
hot
that
shot crew. That's, let's pull. Let me pull him on here. Hold on a second, right there, Jason. Let me get him on here. Pop him up on the screen here. Hey, we get you now, buddy. What's going on, Jason? You doing all right?
I am. How about you guys?
We ain't too bad. We ain't too bad.
we're doing good. We're halfway through the week, right? More than
There
halfway.
you go. That's right.
This is
Yeah,
Mr. Jason Kane. For everybody that don't know, he drives the hot shot truck. The little, I guess it's a Chevy Love, I assume.
it is. What's left of it?
What's left of it. He been running for a long time. Big Chevrolet man.
Oh yeah,
So we
yeah.
just chat up. How long you been at it, man? Y'all been out for what, 30 years, something, 40 maybe? I don't know. I want to tell you
I
age.
went to my first mud race in 1983, and we actually
19.
won the first mud race that I went to in 1983. I was a little over 10 years old. So and the first mud race, and everybody thinks the horseshoe and all that is new. That mud race was actually a horseshoe.
That's awesome.
Oh,
I knew we were gonna get into that because everybody everybody thinks there's such an innovator in the sport, and when you sit back and you listen to these guys that have been around for a while, you'll realize that they may have done about everything that we want to do.
Yeah,
it's all
it's
circle,
it's come around here and there, and it all changes up. But yeah, 83 was our first race, and that I don't know if you can see, but yeah, 83.
yeah.
That was our very first race, and
And you still
we
got the
went to
trophy.
it,
That's pretty good.
and I got hooked, and we
Well,
went a lot of places and had a lot of fun and doing a lot of different things, and but Dad always kept me in it, and that's how we got started with it.
So
And
where
good.
was that first race?
it was in PD, South Carolina. I actually originally am from up around Florence, Darlington area. So,
Okay.
and then we moved to Goose Creek, and but Florence and Darlington, they used to run in like Pleasant View, and there was a
Yeah, pleasure.
Toby's Creek. So there were several tracks up in that area. Then when we moved down here, there was like Strawberry right outside of Monk's Corner off of 52, and that's where Pac-Man and all that was at. But we were playing with a street Jeep. We had Jeep that probably everybody else rode in the woods and whatnot. And then in 1986, an organization come to Charleston and done a race at the fairgrounds. And that's really what got us hooked. And Red, I think I was telling you this story. It was the first time I'd seen a foot tire. And man, we were thinking, man, them tires are wore out. They're showing tread. It changed our mind real quick when we seen how them tires hooked and ran. And that was in '86 at the fairgrounds in Charleston. And we got hooked up with that organization, and we did a lot of races with them guys, and that's really what got us hooked into the racing. Because up until then, we were just playing with a street Jeep, rode up and down the road, played in the woods, probably everything that everybody would do. It's just getting started. But then we
Yeah.
got more serious, and that's when we got the Blazer and started really getting involved in traveling and doing indoor shows and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
Well, I don't know if you see that. Can you see the picture on the screen there of that young fella sitting there tearing, like he changing a tire? I guess it was a newspaper article they put you in.
yeah, that was actually in Buford, and we done some races down there. And Buford was the very first race that I actually won. That was my first place. But man, I had some hard luck at that track down there. I think that was actually I blew a motor up in that picture in that newspaper. But man, I finally changed that luck and we won a race, and that was the first place I got a first place at.
Okay, that's pretty old pitch. That's pretty good there, man. That's the first place win. That had cut tires too. So that must have been after the fact.
Yeah, like I said, in '86 we learned about cut tires. We wanted some of them then. We thought they were wore out to start with, but it changed our mind real quick.
Yeah, he
Man, that
said
was
you guys only got every third lug. What do they think they're gonna do with that? Right?
yeah,
Yeah, it was showing threads and lugs missing. We were thinking, man, these tires are wore out. And it was John Runner and them out of Orlando, Florida, and Black Magic, and like I said, the first time we ever seen them was at the fairground. Man, they changed our mind real quick. And
yeah.
Daryl Galloway, yeah, we wanted some of them tires then.
That's the that skinny
Yeah,
truck.
but at the time it wasn't skinny; it was a full size truck. And
They don't much come
so
better than Jason.
What's the
You getting some
name of that truck? Galloway's four
night
wheel
shift,
drive.
night shift,
Night shift.
night
Okay.
shift.
night shift. So yeah.
That's
Was that
So
probably
yeah, like I said, not everybody knows that I've been playing at it this long. I just I'm usually quiet and keep to myself
yeah.
and do my own little thing and just have fun
Yep.
I guess
and, and
y'all
enjoy
kind
it.
of you said you done kind of been in a little bit of everything. Maybe some cut tires, some DOT tire trucks you had, and all that. But you really like the unlimited now, I guess.
Well, I really have kind of stuck with the unlimited because it's just less of a headache. I
Yeah.
think even when you tech the truck, you were like, man, these trucks are easy to tech. You just look at them, make sure they got a cage and they're safe, and
Yep.
it's less arguments. And over the years, again, I don't like all confrontation. I just like to go have fun.
Yeah.
Yep. Just want to race and go fast.
As fast as I can go. Sometimes it don't work out. Like Palmetto didn't work out, but hey,
Yeah, it
It
happens, man. It happens.
happens to the best of us, right? At least you kept on all fours, huh?
yeah,
Yeah. You've had some
yeah.
worse luck there, I promise you.
I
Poor
promise
Michael.
you, I have.
I'll tell you, pretty much once somebody's going to get it. Every time you go to Palmetto, somebody's going to flip.
Oh, somebody's gonna get some corners, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
It's
So what's
slick, slick and fast, you know.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I've
you
definitely
know
had my share of rollovers. 14 of them.
God dog.
Yeah,
14.
That's pretty
14.
you got me
That's
beat,
what I'm
man.
talking about. They were asking for people who,
Yeah,
who's been in the mud world for a few years. They were kind of naming all these people and all, and I was like, huh.
yeah.
They've been in it like 15 years or whatever. Thinking back, this man's been in it 40 years, rolled over 14 times. That's what
like I
I'm talking.
said, I
And
just stay
still,
quiet for the most
here.
part. I just
So
That's
stay to
pretty
me
hard,
and
man.
quiet and have a good time. But yeah, I've been over 14 times. It might be what's wrong with me.
Might be
tell
It must undoubtedly been with
us
some good
about some of them
safety.
indoor shows with the kill switch and some
So
calculations you were telling me about the other night at Palmetto.
we've done several indoor shows, and indoor shows are always fun. So we done one of them. I'll start with the cone killer story. It kind of leads into it. Um, we done a race in Tennessee, and everybody was running on the left hand side, and for some reason I said I'm going to the right, and it was a slick track. They had cones like every 10 feet. Man, I took out every cone except the starting line cone. And the announcer was like, he's just a cone killer. So when we
The
showed up at
cone
an
killer.
indoor race, who's the same announcer? What happens? I run out the side of the pit, take down the flags. He's like, yeah. So when I show back up to park the truck, here's a cone sitting here, cone killer parking. That was and
See
so,
that ain't just stuck, huh?
yeah. So that announcer kind of stuck it to me. And so we later on went down to race in Virginia, and most of the indoor shows they shot us out the door. Well, for some reason, this promoter you kept going straight, and there was no way to get out. And I got looking, I was like, "Man, you gotta have somebody killed." He's like, "What
Yeah.
do you mean?" He's like, "I got a hill down there. Nobody ever gets there." And I'm like, "Man, you just don't know my luck." And he's like, you'll be fine. He's like, we shut you off at 60 foot in the 80-foot pit. I'm like, he's like, most of our trucks are running 8 and 9 seconds. I'm like, in
80
80
foot.
foot? I'm
God
like,
dog.
something's wrong. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
that's true.
I love it.
I started the pit in like 3 seconds. They killed the truck, and the next thing I know, the front tires is hanging over into the front row. Thank God they
God
had all
dog.
the seats blocked.
Had them back.
And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, this is could have killed somebody.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. You
and
gotta miss.
but with that story, I'll tell you this story with the indoor show. And everybody knows this crazy fool. I got my friend Johnny Martin to do a show probably about 15 years ago, and we were in the Civic Center in Florence. And my dad standing down there looking out the tunnel, and here comes this fool Johnny Martin out the end of the track and doesn't stop. Hits the door coming out. I'm thinking, Lord, he's done killed my daddy. And then you see my dad just peeking around the corner like a little kid at Christmas looking for Santa Claus or something. I'm like, thank God he ain't killed me. But yeah,
He missed.
that was Johnny, I think, one and done indoor show.
Yeah, yeah, Johnny Martin indoors. That's insane. I've
I
seen
might
him
do that.
1,000-foot pass one time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's it. That
yeah.
indoor. I might do
Man,
some of that
y'all gotta
indoor, man.
stop before y'all get out the door.
I wish they'd get back
Yeah,
to that, some
I
of
don't
that
think
indoor.
none of
That'd be
it
pretty
stopped.
neat. What was the
Problem
crowds
The indoor
like?
shows was always fun.
is we got to be fast enough to be entertained, BT. All right,
Yeah, that might be the problem, ain't it?
we're too
What was
slow.
the crowds like on them indoor shows, man? Is it
So I've been to them and
30,000?
they've been sold out, and I've been to them and they not be sold out. I've been to they had the Savannah Civic Center. I think they built a new one now, but they had to turn people away. The Florence
Damn,
Civic
that's
Center
pretty.
was the same thing. They the organization down there run what they called the Redneck Nationals, and they would sell the Florence Civic Center out. I
Wow.
mean,
What kind of
that's 10,000 people.
what
Yeah,
kind of classes did they have at it like that? Like what all was running?
So they would run like a 0 to 38, kind of like probably kind of like the mid tire,
yeah,
um, and then they would run a cut tire, full body or not full body, but a kind of like a pro stock truck, kind of like Johnny's truck or my little truck, but they had to be on cut tires, and
Mm-hmm.
that's usually what they would run.
Okay, 2 classes.
Yeah, it's usually 2 classes.
that's pretty. I like that. I think we need to try that.
Yeah, and that's when there were a lot more cut top trucks running in the mud, right,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jason?
in the mud. Yep.
A
yeah,
lot
it
of
was, it was
skippers,
definitely mud.
deep and stuff that you see.
Yeah, so it was definitely mud. I mean, not everybody come out, so they were definitely trying to slow you down and contain you.
That's all.
But
That'd be. We need to get somebody, any promoters out there to try to get back on that. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah,
yeah,
man, get us indoors somewhere, somebody, right? We'll drive up there. We're getting
yeah,
every
man.
something indoors. There
That might get us the series promoted there, buddy. I promise you.
you go. Get some eyes on you.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely wild inside, especially when you got that many people that are really into it. I mean, you guys know yourself. You usually don't hear the crowd. You can see the
Yeah.
crowd, but
Mm-hmm.
when you got 10 to 11,000 people, you can actually hear the crowd.
Yeah, I
So
guarantee you, indoors too. Yeah.
it actually steps it up a little bit for you. It makes it real.
Makes you
So
go harder.
yeah, most definitely. So
Yeah, because I
it's
don't
definitely
anybody that's raced in front of 11,000 people. You
I ain't
know,
lying,
any
man.
of us normal racers, I guess. I mean, what? There's probably 2,000 people there at
Yeah.
Palmetto. That's one
A
of the
good
biggest
one.
ones I've seen
Yeah.
in a long time.
Yeah.
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 Palmetto
Big
definitely
crowd.
had a good crowd, and that's what I told Gavin. I said whether my truck swims or not, I said we're running it. I said you got a crowd here. We're not wasting it. I said whether
Yeah.
Yep.
I run 30 seconds or whether I run 3 seconds, we're not wasting a crowd like this. We got to be out there running. They paid their money to be here.
Yeah. I hate we missed that one. That was a good one.
Um,
Maybe.
that's old school straight line right there.
Oh
Who's
Yep.
yeah.
got right? That's good stuff.
I'd
Hey,
be.
I know
I mean,
straight line mud ball race coming up. Don't you? Is there another
I
one?
know a couple of them coming up, man. I know a good straight line. Old school. They promoting it as old school. That's what you're
Old
doing.
school over there, Branchville, right?
Yes, sir. That'll be a
God,
good one. Y'all come check it out. May 10th. Little
are you gonna
promote
have
there.
the unlimited guys in the mud?
If they'll show up, we'll run them.
Dang.
We'll
I
put
don't
them
think
in there.
BT and them scared to run anything over there. I think they'll try
We'll
anything.
we'll let them go. Let
Let
them
it
eat.
eat.
Let them eat.
That's right.
Talking about the old school, I'll share something else with you. And this comes out of the state, and BT may have been around. I'm not sure. Rhett, you may have been around for some of this. Comes up out of the mid-state, Nick Schilling and them up
Yep.
in that area. Um, you know, and we ran the full-size truck up there some. At the end, we run the S10. But, I heard, oh, we got this hole nobody ever comes through, blah, blah, blah. Well,
Yep.
we took
Yep.
the
Yep.
full-size truck up there. Well, what do you get when you take the full-size truck up there? You come back with a T-shirt.
This
We came
man
through
got
the
the
hole.
T-shirt.
That's what
There
I'm
you go. I
talking.
went through the big hole. There you go.
That's what I'm talking about. He's got the shirt. He's been there,
He's
done
got it.
that. I
That's
love
all you
it.
can say. Got the
So
shirt to
that was
prove it,
definitely
baby.
old school up there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a good hole there, man. They had that one real bad hole, and the other little hole was pretty
Yeah.
nasty
Well, that
too.
was the big hole. That was the bad hole. But
there weren't
yeah,
many that went through that.
yeah.
Probably you, Johnny Jackson with the Mohawk. I saw him go through it one time, and I don't know. I think that hole sunk 20. If
The
maybe wrong about that.
the cheese
I think
puff
it
made
did
it
a
through there
couple of
before
times,
the
but I
cheese
think he
puff.
finally got it figured out. And I
Yeah,
know
the
Jimmy
big,
finally made a pass in it.
the big hole, BT.
I don't know which hole it was, but they had no. I don't think it was a hole. They had a bounty up there one time on a truck.
He
Uh,
said the cheese.
before
That's
that
what
was
I'm
before it was a
talking
cheese puff. That was before it was a cheese puff, man. They had a bounty. We went up one day and took the bounty. So yeah,
That's awesome.
but I
Toyota.
like Mid-State. Mid-State Toyota. But Jason, you done been all over the East Coast, ain't you, Bo racing? Indoors, outdoors. You like the horseshoe. You got back to horseshoes. So I'm gonna get back to what you said to start with. There was horseshoe racing in the 80s. That's what
In
you were saying.
1983, the very first mud bog I ever went to was a horseshoe.
All right,
Yeah.
good man.
Did you ever do any of the like circle track? I always hear the old. They
So,
always got.
so I'll tell you another story about the circle track.
Track.
Pleasant View decided they were going to put a circle track in down there one weekend, and I, knowing me, the windshield always gets covered on every truck I've ever drove for some reason. I don't know why. I couldn't tell when I went around, but we had to make a complete lap, so I just kept going and going and going. Well, the truck finally started spitting and sputter.
Run
I
out of
ran out
gas.
of I ran out of gas.
You thought you was at Liberty at the Daytona 500, huh? That's pretty
Yeah,
neat.
man, I was just going laps. So yeah, but yeah, I've done a little bit of it all at some point. Yeah, but and I ran a horseshoe somewhere we were at, and nobody was making it down the back stretch on it. So I said, you know what? I said I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna line back up, and I'm gonna trans brake the truck and take off again, make it like a separate pit, and it worked. But nowadays you can't do that because y'all are just slinging them around in the
Yeah,
corners.
they'll come around the corner now. I think is PV, is that that's up around Conway up that way, ain't it? Ain't
It
that?
is. It is.
I think that's the one with like the track in the hole. We were supposed to race there one time, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a 300-foot, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Same.
think I've
It's
raced there one
300 foot.
time. Yeah, I think I went to like one time with Cody and Jason and raced one Saturday night.
They used to have a heck of a thing going on, didn't they, Jason? Tell us a little bit
They
about that.
did. They
You and
did, and they would run like every other weekend. And I mean, he would pull 500, 1,000 spectators every other weekend with no
Dang.
problem. And I had probably one of my worst rollovers up there. I went end over end up there one weekend, and man, that guy come and put his hand like this right here toward me. He's like, "I got a helicopter coming to get you and EMTs." I'm like, "Man, you don't get your hands off me." I got to get out of this truck. He's like, no, you hurt, you hurt. And I was hurt a little bit. I wasn't going to lie, but I wasn't telling this fool that because he was wanting to send a helicopter in to come get me. I
Yeah.
was like, that ain't happening. Let me
Tell 'em,
out.
bro, they call me Cone Killer. You don't think I've done this before?
Yeah, this isn't my
Good,
first
good.
time. But when I went end over end for some reason, and we've changed the roll cage in the truck a little bit. I mean, a lot of guys, and you can never have too much cage. Don't get me wrong, but for some reason, when I went end over end, my leg got caught between the door and the cage. It come outside the cage, and my knee got caught, and so I bruised my knee up a little bit. But this fool was like, "Oh, I got a helicopter coming to get you." So an ambulance come riding around in a little bit, and Scott Stroud, he I was like, "Man, I'm hungry. I need something to eat." He brought me a plate of chicken bog over there. I'm laying up underneath the trailer, and an ambulance come riding around. We're hurting the guy. It's hurt. He's like, "Man, they put him in the back of a truck and took him to the hospital." I'm laying over there
God
dying and
dang.
laughing at this point because I'm eating chicken bog laying up underneath the trailer.
They think you done. He's like, yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm just eating. I'm hungry. I'm a big boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
What
you
it,
gotta get your strength back, right?
Yeah, I done tore my truck all to pieces. I done been end over end 3 times down there.
that's
So,
pretty good roll.
hey, does that count as 3 rolls or is that one of
Just
your 4?
one.
That was just one out of the
Okay.
14.
So, did your daddy
That
race
was
too,
one.
Jason?
Anybody listening? I want to know if anybody's rolled more than 14 different occasions.
Oh, I'm sure there's somebody out there.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that's come around. I'm getting close, but I ain't
He's like 6, 8, or something.
6 or 7. I'm up. I'm getting close, but
Yeah,
I'm
you're
good.
not in danger of getting them yet.
No, I
Man,
don't
I
want to. That's
tore up probably more at Palmetto than BT has. I mean, rollover wise, I mean, man, I've rolled over a bunch at Palmetto.
I
I
know I done
mean,
told 3 up down there.
yeah,
3 I'm at it,
I
BT.
I know 3.
Curtis
I
put
got
his
one.
in the truck over there, right?
I remember that. That's right. Yeah.
I got one sitting out there in the yard now. It's still from like 10 years ago or 8 years ago from Palmetto. It's it's yeah, tore all to pieces.
Oh, you had a pretty good one down at Palmetto a couple years ago. That must have been the.
That was probably the one sitting out there in the yard
Yeah,
still.
I think so. Yeah, that's that track of Edom, boy. That's the track too tough to tame. I get you down at the other end sometimes.
That's right.
Sometimes it can be. You're right.
Well, what
Get you.
happens too is you're over there. It's under the lights. It's at night. There's
Yeah,
always a pretty good crowd there hollering for you.
and got to dig, bo.
You pretty much line up and hit the trans brake and let it go, right, BT?
Yep, yep,
Again, you can't waste that crowd. You got to put them on a show.
yeah. That's right.
Isn't it, man? Because if you don't, then everybody kind of they don't really care about seeing you go or whatever. So
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
got to.
but
yeah.
like you've been doing this for 40 years, I guess you can say, because I was born in 82, and that's 43 years. So 40 years. How much have you seen it? Like the truck wise, has the truck evolved in like the last 40 years? They getting
So
any faster, you reckon?
the trucks have definitely stepped up. I mean, they've definitely progressed tremendously, and motor wise, I would say is grown by leaps and bounds. I mean, there's just no doubt about that. Motors have just gone outrageous. I mean, you're talking about everybody used to would have a cam and a set of headers and think they had something, and now you show up with a cam and a set of headers, you might as well stay at the house.
Yeah,
I mean, it takes the technology in the motors now, but I mean, not only that, but the suspension wise, you're seeing the trucks grow and be able to actually use the power now. Where
yeah,
before, even if the guys had power, they couldn't always hook it up, and that's a lot of it is just the power, being able to work the power and make it work. So the chassis and the suspension has come a long way as well, but motors have definitely grown.
Yeah.
So
What were those cut tire trucks running in a 100-foot
And
pit?
in
And back,
200 feet and 86 to 90, right around 4.5, 5 seconds was a good time.
yeah, and
so they
that was
run that on.
the cut tire truck.
Yeah, so they run that on DOTs now, really. So
Yeah. So yeah, you can imagine that. And I mean, these were fiberglass 4-link vehicles back then. I mean,
yeah,
or gutted out vehicles back then. So yeah, you can imagine that technology has definitely changed to get 2.5 seconds out of them now versus the
yep.
4.5.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
it's
when you think of
it's
it.
come a long ways, man. But if you sit there and watch it, you don't think about that, how fast, you see so many of them nowadays. It's like, but
Yeah.
I remember watching you down at the Watermelon Festival, Hampton.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
Back in my younger full racing days, before racing.
talking about the Watermelon Festival. I was thinking about different things, and I we used to do all the festivals because it seemed like every festival in South Carolina
Yep.
used to have a mud bog at the end the last week, and that's kind of gone by the wayside. But
Yeah, I
South
don't know.
Carolina, South Carolina history in school, I hated school. It was horrible in school. But South Carolina history, back then we didn't have GPS and all the phone and technology, so we had to look stuff up on a map. And the map we had was counties, so I was able to nail every county pretty much in the state by a festival because in '90s, I mean, we were running pretty much every festival at the end of the week. I could tell you
Yeah.
Hampton had the Watermelon Festival. I could tell you Gaffney had the Peach Festival. So I could tell you where Gaffney was. I could tell you that, Hampton was. I could tell you Paxville was over in Sumter area. They had a cucumber festival. I could tell you Greeleyville had a Flag Day festival. So I could tell you these counties, Williamsburg County with the Flag Day and Greeleyville, and they accused me of cheating. You can't know where all these counties are. Well, yeah, I
I'm
can.
work on not go to these counties.
They're like, you're basically telling me you're not this smart. Well, I might not be. I might be stupid and everything else in school, but I go to these counties. Look these up on the map every weekend. I know where I'm going.
That's pretty good.
So yeah,
Dang, y'all can't give me a little bit of credit. Come on.
they're like, well, how do you know where these counties are? And then I'd start naming the festivals that was in these counties, and they'd
Yeah.
be like, well, are you
Yeah,
sure? Yeah, I'm
Yep.
sure. I'll go there.
Yep.
yeah. I go to the festival. I'll show you the T-shirt. Hey,
Got the T-shirt to prove it.
And so yeah, and I mean we drove back from Tennessee and stuff to go to the Watermelon Festival because it would run on Sunday. I
Yep.
mean
Yep. On Sunday. Yep.
when we were really dedicated racing. Too old for all that now, but earlier on in life, we would drive back. We drove from Bradenton, Florida, to run at the Shrimp Festival over there at Collins, and that was a 9 or 10 hour ride one night back.
Yep.
And so definitely done a lot of riding to come back to do some local Sunday racing.
Yeah. And Sunday races used to be a big hit, man. That was little Sunday
Yeah,
afternoon races.
yeah,
Yamasee used to run Sunday, right?
Yeah, that was
yeah,
Collins. Yeah, that was
Okay,
yeah,
call.
that, and
yeah.
I
So
remember the
yeah, we would
Watermelon
drive
Festival in my
back.
younger
Like I
days.
said, we would
So
find a truck stop that had a shower and say again.
how about the Rice Festival? And then y'all going to the Rice Festival? I reserved me a spot in the parade.
You
And there's
reserved a
a
spot.
mud bog at the end of the Rice Festival, but it's not in Walterboro. It's in Somerville. All right, so there's a
Do
mud
what
bog.
now?
It's close enough. It's what
That's right.
15 miles away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said it's in. I thought the Rice Festival was in Walterboro. You said it was in Somerville.
No, it's in
Well,
Walterboro, but I think he's saying the track is in Somerville.
that's right.
Oh well,
Come to the Rice Festival and then get your butt over to Palmetto. Right,
yeah.
Jason? He's
There
getting
Well,
what
you
I'm.
heck,
go.
that ain't far at all. Right up 15 from the track to Walterboro. It ain't
Yeah,
Yeah.
20
Tw-
miles at that.
that's what I
Yeah.
was saying
Yep.
about 15 miles, 20 miles. It isn't
Yeah.
that far. So
Bring the ape. Let's do some
We're gonna
promotion.
try, man. That's the only weekend. I know I'm going out the way here, but that's the only weekend I'll be able to hunt a Saturday in South Carolina. Turkey hunt the rest of this year. So we'll see how that goes.
Listen to this guy.
I, I'm just
hey, I
being
can't
honest,
say that.
brother.
I was talking about BT last night at work. Okay, I had a fella come over to me. He's like, "You do any turkey hunting?" I was like, "Nope." But a guy I mud race with, I believe he turkey hunts all the time.
Every chance he got something he need killing, just let me know. I got some youngins.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got to tell them we about to leave to go to Nebraska Friday, so won't be no unless Rhett's gonna take it over next week. I'll be in the turkey blind.
What kind of turkey do they have up there? They got regular turkey like we got, or they got some kind of funny turkey?
No, we in South Carolina you got the Eastern turkey. Up there they have a Merriam and a Rio. So we're going to try to kill them too, try to get the Grand Slam.
The Grand Slam. Are they
I need
big?
one in Florida. It's a little different color. They got a little white on the tail feathers, a little more white in them, a little different color.
But, all right, now we gotta get off of the turkeys because the little monkey's gonna.
He'll be commenting on here about them turkeys, brother. What's up, Jason? Smiley. Yep, Smiley was right. He said I'll be commenting from the turkey blind live next week.
While we're digging around here, anybody got any questions for Mr. Jason?
Yes, sir.
Probably the only one that can see the comments.
I don't see any comments unless there's something that I'm missing.
Are you using a computer or what? You using a phone?
I'm on the phone.
Okay, yeah, I don't believe you'll be able to see him on the phone, but I'll post them on him when they come up. They got any questions? But did y'all see talking about the live? You see Johnny and Smiley at the what was that festival? The Flower Festival this past weekend?
Flower Town. They were out showing off.
Yeah, that is for Palmetto.
Awesome because Flower Town Festival is a big deal. There's thousands.
And then I think somebody even posted they even had Patrick there talking and showing off.
Patrick was talking.
He was talking to somebody.
He was
and
under
they said he was dressed up.
Yeah.
Patrick said he was dressed up.
Big time.
He's probably on here watching. So
Johnny was out there. Johnny looked like he was having a good time.
Yeah, letting all them kids take pictures and get in there on that. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, man.
That was pretty good.
That is what
and then at Palmetto the other night, we had some people with us the other night that never been to a mud race, and they were just fascinated because of like the stuff that goes on. You know, everybody is, I guess, friendly and ongoing. And Johnny was having issues and running up my trailer, getting stuff and whatnot. He's like, does this happen all the time? I'm like, me and Johnny raced together forever. I was like, if I need something, he comes gets it. If I need something, I go get it. I'm like, that's just the way we are. That's the way it happens. I'm like, we're just a traveling mud family, you know. I'm like, we just have a good time. And he's like, man, I see that. He's like, it's just great. But he'd never been to a mud race, and he was just floored. I think Rhett, next time I'm gonna send him over to hang out with you because he just never shut up. he was amazed at everything. He was amazed by the trucks. He was amazed by the people. He was just floored.
That's good, man.
It's the thing we got going on, and a lot of us take it for granted that we go on a weekly or monthly basis and have all these friends that have all these really cool toys. That's because that's what they all are. They're big Hot Wheels cars. They're toys. They
are
something to have fun with and look at and to enjoy. And you know, we take it for granted sometimes, but it's awesome.
Well, I got a question for you. I got a question from the Hammer himself.
Uh-oh.
He wants to know how many motors you blew up when you started with nitrous.
A lot. And Hammer was around when I was picking up some pistons and rings. So I'm sure he remembers some of that. But a whole bunch. The nitrous was definitely a learning curve. And I can tell you that the little motor that's in the truck now is going on about 12 years. So it has definitely been a learning curve. And it has had up to 600 shot on it. So a lot in the past. But
and that's a small block or big block? Small block. That's a lot.
But we have definitely learned to pull some timing and to put some fuel to it in order to save them.
That's about all we got under the hood, huh, BT? He's spraying we have.
Yeah, that's right.
It don't get that all the time now, don't get me wrong, but it has had that on some occasions.
That was some of the field passes that we saw. I saw some cool pictures I shared.
I had some pictures I get shared up on here.
Man, it was probably some money passes, but because that was usually some money if I was shooting it that hard.
Miss Easton said the silver bullet blew up. She says, silver blew up. The silver bullet blew up several times. when he started nitrous. You had a truck called a Silver Bullet.
I didn't have a Silver Bullet.
You must be talking about Mr. Eason from over there around Santee. I think that's who that is. The Eason family,
Probably,
the
yeah,
brothers, or whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
So who were some of I'll ask a question. Who were some of your guys that you looked up to when you were a kid? Like in that first race with your picture there and I
So,
don't know if that
the Galloway's truck was always one I looked up to, especially when it was the full S10, not the narrowed up night shift truck. I liked it as the full body with the bed in it. It was so impressive to me back then, and it was just awesome. Um, because I mean, he was one of the ones that could jump the pit in 4 seconds, 5 seconds back then, and it was
yeah.
pretty much a full body truck, leaf springs. And then he come out with the gutted, narrowed little truck. But I always liked the Galloway's truck. And then the guys out of Orlando, Florida, Dick Wilson and John and Rena Runner, the Black Magic and the A Team truck down there. Those guys. But locally, somebody I looked up to, and it helped me a lot, was a guy named Jerry Hall out of Elgin. He always looked out for me at the track. Because growing up, we probably shouldn't have went to a lot of races we went to because financially we couldn't afford it, and we probably should have stayed home. But Jerry would always come over and talk to me. You need fuel, and different things of that nature, and he always would, hey, make sure you read the track, make sure you do this. And Rhett, I think I told you this story the other night, and after that I got kind of lazy, I'll say, and I didn't read the track and walk the tracks as much, especially on the finish line.
Yeah.
And we ran a race, and they said, "Oh, you got plenty of shutdown." And I found out we didn't have plenty of shutdown. There was a pond down there, and I
Oh,
run the truck in the pond. And so now every track we go to, I walk because the truck sunk down there at the end, and
I
an
guarantee you.
EMT come at me, swimming at me, and everybody started laughing because I started swimming away from the EMT. But so so now every track we go to is a new track to me, or whether I've been there or not, I always walk the track to make sure that nothing's changed at the finish line because you never know. And but Jerry was always a good guy and to me locally, and so those guys were guys that I looked up to.
That's awesome.
Well, here I'm gonna share this picture. I don't know if I got a question. I don't know if you can see that picture or not, but it's got a. I think that might be a pound metal, and it's got the front tires about 6 feet off the ground.
We probably
And
had a side bet going on that day,
hot
and
shot.
we were probably betting somebody, and there was probably some side money being exchanged, and that was probably a 600 shot on it that day. There's no telling.
That's pretty good.
Well,
It was
who
toting the tires for sure.
who was some of your I say not fiercest competitors, but maybe biggest rivals that or guys that you have raced with the most over the years, if that makes any sense.
So over the years, probably, and is going to be Johnny and probably Jimmy Royal is still out there and still racing. Those two are probably, and unfortunately, they are Ford guys, and you know,
I mean,
I
we
know the
love
Chevrolet guy.
bless their soul, right? You know,
yeah,
Yes, we feel sorry for them, so we get a bunch of Ford guys on here. You know.
usually we're getting picked on, so we got to pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we got to
Miss
take our shots where we can when us Chevrolet guys get together.
Yeah.
That's right.
Miss Wendy Eason brought one up that I do remember, and I know the fella had it real good. She said the Red Rooster,
Yeah,
Dwayne Paget. That was a
yeah,
fast that was a fast machine, but
it was,
that was a bad one. Well, how
it was.
about over the years, all the trucks you had, which one was your favorite to race? I guess most competitive to race with.
So probably the truck I had the most fun with, and y'all probably seen a little bit of it. And I think Jimmy actually sent me the pictures that there because I lost some of the pictures during Hugo. Was the pink truck that I drove in high school.
Yeah.
It was probably the one that I had the most fun with that I had posted recently. Probably because that was the first time I had something fast and with some horsepower. So that still lives, and So
Miss Easton's hitting us with all kind of the super duck. You remember a super duck?
oh, Timmy Davis. I seen
Yeah.
old Timmy one night down back to the Sand Dragon. They used to Sand Dragon spot by like
Yeah.
10 feet spots if you had headers, whatnot. And Timmy had to spot a stock truck one night, like 250 feet and 300 feet,
Dang.
and run him down and passed him.
Damn, at 50 foot. That's pretty good.
I was like, dude, jeez. And Timmy's like, where's he going? But yeah, that was a crazy night. But yeah,
Yeah,
super duck. Yeah.
Bobby.
What kind
How
of truck
about
was Super Duck?
It was a Dodge. They come over out of Georgia. I don't remember a whole bunch more other than it was a Dodge and it was all sooky. That's the biggest things I can tell you about him.
It
He
was
done if y'all remember Channel 5
awesome?
used to do a Carolina camera,
Yep.
and they done a thing at Palmetto, and he had Michael Trush out there in the mud hole, and he done a belly flop. So
Dang.
yeah,
I wonder if we're gonna have to YouTube it, y'all. See
It's
if we
probably
can.
on there. I guarantee you, Carolina camera.
Carolina
Carolina.
camera from Channel 5.
I got an old buddy of them used to race. They've been years, but you might know him. You remember Billy Austin? Him and his brother used to race
I
out of
remember that
Orangeburg.
name. I
They used to
remember
race
that name.
Dodges too. They used to race the Mopars too.
Hmm.
They used to go with Jimmy, with Dwayne Paget and them. But Miss Misery, that's what she's saying now. Bubba Tool says Miss Misery. Afterburner. Jimmy
Miss
Ross
Misery
today
and
from
Bobby Dodrell. That was a bad
Dodrell.
rascal.
Yep.
I mean, he done things with Miss Misery. It was just crazy. It was
And,
unreal.
and
And
it was
that's
all. I mean,
this is all mud, right? Cut
yeah,
tire.
they
Oh
mudded. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He would take a pit like Palmetto, and it was pretty much a full body truck. I mean, even though it was fiberglass and whatnot, I mean,
Yep.
it looked like a full body truck. Let me back up. Um, to the outside and to the naked eye, it looked like a full body truck, even though it probably didn't weigh but 2,500 pounds. But he would have run a pit like the other night at Palmetto in like 3.0s, 2.9s. I mean, it was just
Wow.
unreal what that truck would do 10 years ago.
Miss
And it was
Easton said
leaf
he's a
springs.
Lee Springs.
Leaf spring.
Miss Easton says that fella's got the world's fastest 4x4 drag truck now.
Yeah.
That's the same fellow that is building Kane's
Kane's
Ranger.
truck. Yeah.
If we're
Yeah.
ever gonna
Yeah,
see it,
okay.
they're gonna ever. When's it coming out? It's gonna be
Next
bad.
year.
Come on, we want to see it, right?
Yeah. But
Man, they're
yeah, he
coming up with
does some
all kind of
crazy
names.
stuff and a lot of stuff. And he done a lot of crazy stuff in the past. But again, he had a fast truck, that's for sure.
I kind of remember that Miss Misery. Let's see. We got some Bad Habit too. Bill Blackwell.
Yeah.
Somebody comment on here. So what is
The
it?
bad habit
Bubba.
too was Johnny Port's truck, and we ended up with that, and Scott Strow ended up with that truck. And that was a bad go getter. It had a 632 in it, and it would
Yeah,
ride out. I
And
got to
that's
drive it a couple of different times.
probably
yeah. That
back
was
when
Johnny.
two was sort of rare. You know what I mean? Everybody's got giant engines now, but
Yeah, Biggins like
Yeah.
Red and them.
oh yeah,
I remember
Yeah.
Doug Infinger and Papa Smurf.
So Mr. Doug, I got him to go to Tennessee racing with us one time, and we had to stop at every Shoney's there was. Even if we had to go 100 miles out the way, we had to go to a Shoney's. Because Mr. Doug
to
was
get
going to make sure we had Shoney's. So how Shoney's ever went out of business, I'll never know, because I know Mr. Doug done his part to support Shoney's.
He helped them out in it.
Oh yeah, but we went up there and raced up there. I drug him up there. He's like, man, this is some racing. Because up there we would go racing like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They
Dang.
race during the week. In
Yeah,
fact, Red, I think that flyer you commented on, I think that's a Tuesday race.
Yeah, I saw
yeah,
that.
Tuesday or Wednesday. I was about to say we need to go
Yeah.
to that. I don't know who could go to that, but I think I'm interested in going to that. It's like July 2nd or something.
Yeah.
How the heck they be doing on a weeknight, man? It's like a
Because
They do
fair
them
or something?
they do them at county fairs. Yeah, they're at the
Okay, I
county
got you.
fairs up there, and they pull a pretty good crowd. I mean, even during the week, but I guess it's because it's at the fairs.
Yeah.
that'd be fun. Just a total different environment.
Yeah.
We'd get dumped in with total different trucks you never seen
Yeah.
before. That'd be cool.
It'd be
And,
pretty
and they
cool.
run them. I mean, we hear around here, and we think around here, oh, we run 60 trucks or 60 passes in a night in 5 and 6 hours. Man, they run that in 3 hours up there and call it a night and be done. I mean, but there's not a boggy pit. It's more of a speed pit. But I mean, still, they run them, and
That's some good passes.
they be like, hey, you can't make the call. We thank you for your donation. We appreciate you. Have your stuff together for next time.
That's right. Maybe we can
They
go up
don't
there
be
and make
waiting.
some noise and lure some of them fellas down here to run against the 8. If BT can go put a beating on them up there.
Hey, we'll try it. We'll try it.
They run
But
a
Jason,
super stock type class that the small block trucks would fit in. We ran up there with the small block truck.
most of the time they try to rule us out when we go somewhere like that with these mini trucks. You know what I
Mini
mean?
truck,
Yeah.
lightweight mini trucks,
Yeah,
tin
that's what
can.
I say. Well, Jason, wasn't you building or working on a truck for your son? I believe.
We still
For a
working on
race.
it. He got a little laxed and lazy on me, and if he doesn't work on it, I'm not going to work on it. That was kind of the thing that happened when I was growing up.
Yep.
So if I didn't work on it, we didn't go racing. So if he's
Yep.
not going to be out there in the shop, and if I'm not going to do it. I got one sitting there. I got plenty of projects.
Yep.
So he got a little relaxed and I guess thought I was going to finish it out. So, but it's sitting there, all
Just
the
waiting
parts
on
and
it.
pieces.
That's the thing about this sport. It's a big commitment. Any sport, anything you get
Yeah.
involved in, if
Anything.
you want to run at a high level or perform at a high level, it's a big commitment.
If you want
It
to
is.
compete. Jason says they race 5 to 6 times a week during June and July and August at county fairs up. I guess he's out west, north, out there. I reckon where he stays at.
Yeah, like I said, we've been up there. When I met my wife, I went on vacation and I told her, I said, I'm going on vacation and we're going to Kentucky and Tennessee, going racing. And she said, well, can I go? I said, she's a winner. I got to
Take her.
marry Ricky. So yeah, they definitely race, like I said, pretty much all week. I mean,
That's
so
pretty good.
definitely.
That's another one who'd be fun to get on here. Jason, get him on here and just telling some stories. You know,
Hoskins, yeah, he'll come, man. I'll get him on. Get him before.
we've had him on here talking racing and present, but man, this right here, story time, I dig this.
Jason says from Indiana. We got a JB is commenting. Joe Floyd. Is that like a? I don't know Joe Floyd. You know Joe Floyd?
So Joe
Florida.
Floyd, that Kane's truck that is in Bobby's shop, Joe Floyd originally built, and then it went to the Color of Money truck. But Joe
Okay.
Floyd originally built that truck. But yeah, Joe Floyd was a big time at Ridgeville and big time nitrous and but yeah,
That darn
he's a good,
that Color of Money truck was a bad my truck in its time, brother.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember plenty of my teenage days drinking them non-legal drinks at them mud balls and watching it.
Up there at
Yeah.
Ridgeville.
Yeah, Ridgeville, Yamasee. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Miss Easton said her son drives a little show off now.
Okay.
Mhm.
Time to bring him down and we'll check him out.
That's right.
Yeah,
Next series race is at
That
Cobtown.
Mr. Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith Color of Money. The
yeah.
next points race, that'll be in Cobtown, correct?
Yep.
Shoot out. You gonna make that one, Jason?
I will be at that one. I will unfortunately not be at Palmetto because, well, I have some people that changed my work schedule. They're just not cooperating. But I will
They
be
not.
in Cobtown.
Awesome.
Oh, they
That'll be a
said
good race. Hopefully, we can lure some of the Texas mud drag fellas over there to maybe check us out because
get
they're going to have a race there later in the year.
get them some test passes in. That'd be the time to do it.
Oh yeah, especially for that big consistency payout.
Yeah, man, $10,000 consistency class.
Yeah,
That's what I'm.
That's a lot. I'm probably gonna get in that.
$5,000 for first.
yeah.
Yeah, we might get in that. Archie's pretty deadly. You better watch out for the little monkey. My man's chopping heads, brother.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
man. What they pay out 10 spots in that, right? BT.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just first or second. 10 spots. So
Yep.
that's gonna be a good race.
yeah.
Jason Hopkins keeps asking he wants you to come up to run the Texas Mud Drags. He said they got a small block power adder class that you could race in.
Well, I'm definitely considering going to Cobtail when they run it and run in it, and see how we fare.
Yeah,
Dude, definitely. Well, we will be there.
that'll be a good one. I'll be there too. I'm calling out somebody in a
Uh-oh.
big block if he
Big
brings
Uh-oh.
DOT tires.
yeah. T says you can have your 44s or whatever, but they can't be cut. Let's roll.
We might try him. Keith Boat riding under protest. That's a good one too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Keith, we played a lot with the full body trucks and the full size, the step side. We definitely tried to make Keith work, but man, Keith had to definitely slip or have a bad night for us to outrun that under protest truck.
That's a
It was
bad truck.
it was very rare that we could get him, but we definitely tried. But man, I come to second place a lot of times behind that truck. I was like you said, that was just a bad rascal.
I think he still has that truck, I believe.
That
The
was
orange.
our small tire champion the first year of the series. He ran with us and I believe it was small tire, right? BT put
Yeah, it was small tire.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think his son was driving it that year, wasn't he? Or was Keith actually driving?
his boy was driving it.
His son was
Yeah,
driving.
Right?
yeah.
Yep. That's a bad rig for sure.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Showed up to what was it, Mud City, and they had them
Yeah.
boggers backwards. And it was super muddy,
Yep.
over there. And like, what the heck's going on?
It works.
Man, if you put them on backwards, they don't dig down; they float.
I reckon.
Skinny boggers kind of stayed on top. I was like, man, look at that.
Like I say, it worked for him. So
Yeah,
He was never afraid to try something, that's for sure. That's why I think he got where he was at.
he's smart too, man. He's good. He knows what he's doing, with no doubt. No doubt.
it'd be
Well,
cool
how
to see
about
them come back out and play if it's still
before,
around.
did you have in your times coming up? Did you have like a favorite track you like to run, and you a favorite place you like to go and run for the crowd or however?
So I will tell you that I did like Ridgeville back in the day. I don't know. I think everybody liked Ridgeville, and I think everybody liked Mr. Buddy back in the day. So probably Ridgeville was one of my favorite places to go.
But you're talking about Mr. Buddy Driggers, right?
Yeah.
And Ridgeville always ran at night, right? It was a night
Yep.
race, Saturday night.
They would do some Sunday races during the winter, but yeah,
Okay.
most of their stuff was night races.
That was 200 foot,
Yeah,
right?
200 foot.
Yep.
Yeah. And my first rollover was at Ridgeville.
Ridgeville.
And
No.
we come back around and kick the windshield out, and Dad said, "You're not running again, are you?" I said, "Yeah, you always told me if I fell off the horse, I had to get back on it."
Get back on him.
He's like, "You can't run again." Well, I think Dad smoked a carton of cigarettes that whole pass of like 5 seconds that I made on that second pass.
What did your dad do any racing?
He did. He actually started a little bit, but and you guys probably don't know this, but y'all get introduced to him here in a little later on, a year or so down the road. He's gotten some trouble, but my brother drove more than my dad did, and so
Okay.
my brother will be playing with us some here in about a year, and so hopefully some things will change, and that's why I've slowed down as well. I don't have as much help as I used to have. Like I had some really good friends and whatnot, and Dad's passed away, and like Bubba Magna, if you guys have been around, or um, he's had a stroke. He used to help me, and we used to do a lot. In fact, the burgundy truck that I think y'all posted the picture of, that was actually Bubba's truck. That was the Bad Manners truck. I drove it for years for him. And then Ken Reese, he had a stroke and he's in Tennessee, and just a lot going on health wise as we've gotten older.
Yeah.
And so I don't have as much help as I used to have. And so, but Dad did drive some, but I think he tried to keep us involved in it. I tell people all the time growing up, I didn't know a whole bunch about football. I didn't know a whole bunch about different things. But boy, I could tell you about Richard Petty. I could tell you about, different things of that nature, because we would spend Friday night at a go-kart track or a drag strip, and Saturday night pretty much the same thing. Well, then all of a sudden mud racing come into the scene on Sundays. So in order to go to the mud race, we had to get up and go to church, even if we were tired, because Mama made sure we had to get up and go to church on Sunday morning.
Yep.
So Friday, Saturday night, we were at a racetrack somewhere. Sunday morning, we were at church. Then in '83, when mud racing kind of come around, we were at a mud race. So,
Been around a lot.
oh yeah.
Horsepower.
So,
Miss Tina says she loves to
and
see Hot Shot pull up to 9. One of her favorites.
well, I'm thankful for that. I definitely appreciate that.
That's a
And
good.
we, like I said, no matter what, we try not to waste the crowd, so we try to always make sure we make the pass. So
Oh yeah.
that's what I told them the other night. They're like, "Are you really gonna run again?" Yeah.
Send it.
Pull me a breather out. Let's change the breather and let's try it again. Well, it didn't help. It covered the breather again, but that's okay.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, we couldn't waste the crowd.
What's the fastest you've been in a mud truck? You know, time wise.
Fastest I've been is a 267. That's the fastest
Right.
pass I've ever made.
That's about a
That's right.
second faster than I've ever gone.
Me too. That's pretty fast. That's 200 foot, right?
Real fast.
That was 200 foot.
Yeah, that's
That was
getting
200
down,
foot.
brother.
And,
Was that like in the 80s too,
everything
or here
has to
lately?
be right for my junk to run that fast. I mean, air has to be right. Everything has to be perfect. Because typically it's like a 3.3 second pass. 3.3, 3.5. So everything has to be perfect, and I have to be spraying the guts out of it for it to work.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it depends on how much money's put up, how hard I'm gonna run it.
That's it. I understand that, man. That's something like I said. I always say I've never been behind something that had some spray on it, but they say it's
Oh, don't
very
lie.
addictive. Very addictive.
Oh yeah.
BT's trying to act like that Bluetooth.
Been accused of it. Been accused of it, but never
well,
have sprayed it.
My man says I never sprayed
like
it.
down
Before.
like down at Pleasant View, we would run down there, and I mean, I would run the truck only as hard as I needed to run it, and they would be like, "Man, the truck, it doesn't seem like it's running hard tonight." Well, I didn't have to run it hard,
Yeah.
but then when they would put some money up, or there would be some side betting going on, oh yeah, we'd go back over there and pull some timing and change some jets and come back around. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
that's what we wanted to see.
That's what you got to
So,
do, man. When the time is right.
When you got
Yeah.
a bad boy, you can adjust how fast you want it to go. You can turn it down a little bit if you need to, and be a little aggressive.
That's why you go ahead and you just get a bunch of second places.
You didn't
I
lose
always try
any
to make it make sense.
at Pleasant View, did you? Curtis told me there used to be some fast 4-wheelers at Pleasant View.
Oh yeah.
There was, and there's some YouTubes out there of me running some fast 4-wheelers down there at Pleasant View.
Only thing about Pleasant View, when you leave, you can't see the other truck.
No.
You get down in the hole. When I had the ditch banks, it's like 5 foot in between them. You can't see nothing, Bo.
We went there. I was like, we were gonna run a race there. I was like, oh lordy, you're in the tree. I said, how about that pine tree down there? He said that pine tree wasn't there last time I was here.
And it was 13 inches of line across. Now they wasn't there last time.
Yeah.
That's like growing pine trees.
It must have been happy in that.
Yeah, we went. I've been down there one time. We went one night and raced. He didn't have much of a crowd. We went out there and raced. He had a bunch of 4-wheelers and stuff. But That was a
He,
long
he
time
never
ago.
got a whole bunch of truck crowd, but he always had four wheelers, and like I said, at one time he had a good run of spectators, but
Yeah.
that all, and it was always a late spectator crowd. I think me and Rhett talked about that. He would advertise his race to start at 9 o'clock at night. I mean, who starts a race at
God,
9 o'clock at night? Yeah,
mm,
but that's when his crowd got there. So
Yeah.
you probably get a good crowd that time of night.
And we've seen that. Some locations, man, it just seems like there's a bunch of mud racing fans in certain areas. Certain
Yeah.
areas seem to be gung ho. Like, I swear, Patrick and them, he just seems to be in a good spot for crowds.
He can get them, man.
I think they're pushing hard too. I mean, they've been doing a lot of
They always,
advertising and promoting. So
it's just amazing to always, like, through the years, they
Yep.
always have a good crowd. You go there, and sometimes there won't be many trucks. There'll be a ton of people.
It was like that
yeah,
when Wesley and them had it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's always had a good crowds there, man. I guess
In
it's
fact,
location, I reckon.
Royal owned that place, right?
Yep. Every class, man.
Jimmy come there and lay the smack down. Some people forget
Everybody
about
involved.
those days, right?
I don't. I remember them days.
Hot streak or whatever, and they think they're doing good, and they're like, "Whoa, this guy over here used to dominate for like 3 years, or
Yep. Yeah.
So talking about Jimmy and them, and talking about when I was at like PD and Florence in that area, I never really knew Jimmy and them. I didn't know Jimmy and them until I was in high school. But there was this mean green Ford that always showed up to run the sand drag in the Florence area out of Georgia, and he always just dominated. Well, it was Mr. Buddy, it was Jimmy's daddy, but never kind of knew them until later on. That I was in high school when we actually were doing some more traveling and stuff, and got to really know who it was. But it was weird that earlier on that Mr. Buddy was out there sand dragging and killing them on the sand drag with the mean green truck
The mean green. Yep.
in like 85, 86, maybe earlier than that, but right around that area.
We got to get Mr. Buddy on here one night if he can get some. I guarantee he's got some stories to tell him.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
I guarantee you.
Some good ones. He's still racing,
Yeah.
man. He's good on that consistency. He races that big consistency class he'll be in. He's in the series, ain't he? Yeah.
yeah.
I think he's in there on distance.
Jimmy and Mr. Buddy.
Yeah. Speaking of that, did y'all see the points get put out? Did y'all see that?
I seen somebody got off their butt and finally done
You see
something.
the points posted? Yeah.
I've been on him, man. I've been texting him, and Ball Pete's been texting. Oh, you gotta get on Pete. I'm trying.
I'm getting on it, man. We halfway, man. We getting on it.
Explain to somebody. I love it.
Hey, man, that's what life and jobs and raising youngins and stuff to do for you,
If
brother.
you won, you probably knew where you were in the points, right?
Yeah, you know where you was.
Jason says he knows where he is. He's got a belt.
Yeah, I figured you had your belt on tonight. I figured he'd been wearing that thing tonight. The first annual open class, the daggone belt holder right there, buddy.
Right.
I got it somewhere around here. It ain't too far away.
Little Archie said you better keep that thing clean.
Oh,
I got it polished up in case he wants it. If I give it up to anybody, I want it to be little Archie. I'll say that.
Archie's the man. He's too bad. I'll tell you.
He won the consistency class this past weekend at Tyndall.
That's right. He ain't scared. That's a modified street from last year, right? Camp.
Well, they did. I tell you something else. They did
No.
different.
White Ghost was. My bad. White Ghost was.
White Ghost.
Archie was second.
I think Tyndall and them did a little something different. I think they took all the top. Let me get this right now. The top 2 trucks out of each class, and they ran flat track passes. I guess a consistency class on the flat track and give something for that out of every top 2 in each class. So that was pretty. That was something different, something new. That was pretty neat.
Yeah. Allowed to see the fast trucks one more time. The winner. Bring them back.
I think I had some pretty good picks last. How'd your picks end up, Rhett? Did you get any winners out of that picking last week?
I picked Owen. I don't know how. I didn't see any results. All I know
I
is,
haven't either.
man, James, right? I didn't pick him, but James won.
I picked him. My man.
Me too picked him.
I had 2 winners. My man Arch so we did pretty good with the picks for once. For once.
For
So
one.
what's the next race you headed to there, Jason, to bring the hot shot to? What's your next race, you know?
It'll be Cobbtown. I may stop by on May 2nd and see them guys over in on their 2-day race up there. Dave and Matt.
Yeah.
On Friday night. We may stop by and do their consistency on the 2nd and then go to Cobbtown on the 3rd.
Yeah, I forgot they're doing a consistency class on Friday night. That might be a bad idea.
So, kind of what I'm thinking. So, trying to get back into this a little bit more full-fledged this year. I didn't do much last year.
Yeah.
So
near Cobbtown, on a totally different subject, Joe Max Barbecue, right there at the exit. You got to go there and hit the barbecue up. They got breakfast barbecue. They got a killer double bacon cheeseburger. We were tearing them things up last time we went to Cobbtown.
So the last time I went, there was a seafood place right off the exit.
I don't know. I know they got a Zaxby's. That's the only place I've been to is a Zaxby's.
Yeah, type in Joe Max next time when you go. It's like 10 minutes from Cobbtown, man. You can call it in and pick it up. It's good.
Well, in case y'all haven't figured out, we plan our race trips by food, so we definitely got to eat. So
yeah, that's why I'm telling you, I do the same thing. I'm like, man, I'll be hungry for 5 hours, and I'll get there and eat this. If it's
that'd be some good eating.
That was another thing Johnny said the other night, and he come running up in the trailer. He's like, "Oh, I know they food in this trailer."
That's gonna be we hope we get a good race at Cobbtown. Hope we got some more of them unlimited trucks to show up to get in this thing. I know for a fact there should be some more in the open class, so that'll stack that class on up. So,
and it being off the tree, man, puts a lot more on the driver than you think.
Yep.
You know, for some of these guys that feel like a truck's outgunning them or this or whatnot, that tree.
Yep.
Puts the driver
it can be
right
the
back.
equalizer sometimes. It most definitely. And then you got to go round after round, so you got to have a truck that can stay together.
Yeah. He said Bevrix. That's what you said, get rid Bevrix.
What?
Besides interstate's good food. That's what Wesley Meeks is saying.
Where I went to.
I guess Bevrix might be he said that's good food too.
Might be the local place, closer.
That might be
he would know.
Irish is a know. Yeah. Yeah. The Irish is a
I bet Cody knows somewhere that good to eat, huh? Boys over there, Cody, Willis.
Yeah, them boys probably eat good too. Willis messaged me the other day, asked me if I come to Cobbtown that I want some Vidalia onions. I said, yeah, I'll get me some, cuz have me some.
Heck, those are good fellas.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be some good racing.
I'm looking to see some
good
times this time at Cobbtown, though, right?
It ought to be. That track's a lot faster. I know the fastest that purple truck's ever been has been at Cobbtown, so we'll see.
What's the fastest?
The fastest I've ever been?
Yeah.
3-4.
3-4. Fast.
Rhett, you've probably been twice that fast.
Shoot, I don't know. I don't think I've been faster than 3.6. We just started going fast, right? Last year.
Yeah.
We ain't been fast.
That was with the old motor. Owen Harbison said he got first, so you got one pick.
Okay, there you go, Owen.
Ridge got second. What they did is they combined A and B classes, what he said.
Okay.
Together since the truck count was so low, and he got first place. That's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah, so you won it on 35s. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I won it on 35s. Wesley done hit us up with another one. Yeah. Wesley done hit us with another one. He says Papa Bucks across from Joe Max is the best barbecue.
Okay.
So
I went to the wrong barbecue place, and I thought good. I wonder how good the other place is.
I don't know. See, y'all's barbecue is too different when I'm thinking barbecue. My barbecue's hash and rice. You know what I mean?
There you go.
That's what I'm thinking barbecue. But they barbecues like pulled pork and like that. But yeah,
Yeah, that's what you know,
I'm more of a hash and rice kind of fella.
ribs, mac and cheese.
That's grilling, brother. That ain't barbecuing in my book.
Hash
But
and
yep.
rice.
Later, JB says later he's out. Oh, he's got to go. He's probably got to go change diapers. He's probably babies, the grandbaby, so he's probably got to get off.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, man, I'm glad you come and talk with us. It was good. Got some information, some good stories. So, like
Yeah,
to see
man.
you. Love seeing you race. Got a good truck. I guess we'll see you in Cobbtown when we next race. Make some passes.
Again, it's all about having fun and enjoying.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, and to some of these other fellas that might have some stories, and me and BT are always looking for guests. So
Yeah. So if y'all got
And I'm
any
sure there's a lot
ideas,
of stories out there that I left out that my kids are going to want me to share and shoulda shared and shoulda did. But hey, it's all good.
We'll have part 2.
Yeah, we'll have a part 2, man.
Post Cobbtown.
There you go. You go get
I
your
have to have
notebook and
notes
write.
next time. No,
Yeah, you gotta do like me. You
getting
gotta get
old.
notes. There you go. Write some notes of what they want you to talk about. We'll send me some pictures. We'll get some video if you got any old videos of you running.
I'm getting some videos changed over, so I got some with the Pac-Man and all that kind of stuff, and some old videos. I'm getting them changed over slowly but surely, because the VHS tapes are wore out. But
Yeah.
I definitely got some.
That's awesome.
Shit, that'd be good stuff. Good stuff.
Kit's dad on that, huh?
Oh
That's
yeah.
cool.
All right, guys. Well, I've enjoyed it. I appreciate it. And
Yes, sir. Thank
y'all
you
keep
for coming
doing what
on.
you're doing.
Thank you, Jason.
And
We'll see
thank you,
soon.
man. You
All
have
right,
a good
thank
one.
you.
If you need anything, let us know, Bubba.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
All right.
All right. Oh man, that was a pretty good one. Pretty good story time there. I enjoyed that.
This weekend you got Little Do, right?
Yeah, Little Dude's racing again this weekend.
You have Jeremy and Jay and Michael Russ and all them bad boys up there running. And
It'll probably
then
be a good unlimited class.
yeah. And then a little bit of a break. Right, BT?
Yeah, I don't think we go back again until Patrick at Cobbtown's not God darn, I mean Palmetto is the 26th. Be some mudding, and then we start a good little trend there. You got them, and then you got Thunder Alley and Cobbtown on the 3rd and the 2nd, then Branchville on the 10th. And I have to check. I ain't checked no further than that.
No,
Orangeburg's in there too.
Orangeburg the next weekend after that.
Yeah, they're the next weekend after Branchville. So
15th or 17th.
Yeah, 16th, something like that.
It's a 2-day deal in Orangeburg. So there's a lot of racing coming up.
It's a lot stretched out, man. It's that time of the year, buddy.
Hopefully everybody's got their stuff together, because I know there's some late starters to the season. You don't quite get everything going, but by May, hopefully everybody will be running and
be filed in here.
Mm-hmm.
We got plenty of points racing left. You got your one race out the way, so if anybody wants to jump in, hit us up. We'll get you in there, get you in here, get some points.
That's right.
And we are ordering shirts for everybody that knows. We're getting on them. I'm late. Rhett, let me be late. He's on me. So we trying.
It's all good. We're getting some shirts ordered, though. We'll have them.
I got some irons and a bunch of irons in the fire, but I'm working on it, Bo. I got your banner, like the one behind me. I meant to bring it to Palmetto, and I forgot the darn thing.
That's all right. I'll get it from you soon. Hey, send them if you get that piece of chromoly.
Yeah, I can do that. I'll do that.
I'll take it for the Rice Festival, y'all. Anybody interested? Y'all hit up the Rice Festival parade. Met us that night, so we're gonna take a couple trucks and try to fly some banners and drag some people to the race.
Do a little promoting, ain't it? That's good. Yeah, we have to get Jason Hoskins on. He's got plenty of stories to tell. But like I say, next week, probably no between the pits next week, and let Rhett wants to run it. I'll be out of town turkey hunting, so we have a lot to talk about in 2 weeks.
That's right.
He says he can't test because he run a boat flooded everywhere around here. Darn, is that bad up there? Okay. I'm lacking. Rex just got that new 1,000 horsepower killer in. He's got to do some test passes in, and
1,000.
I'm waiting on a transfer case, and we'll be ready to go for May 3rd, baby.
I thought only them Fords could get 1,000.
That's what they say, man. His man told me he's crazy if you do. But let me hit up these sponsors here. We'll go with our title sponsor tonight. See if I can make it without messing it up. Our title sponsor here, Mr. Johnny Martin Jr. Well Drilling. And we got a fan in ABC, Palmetto Mudway, Red Line Carts, George Brothers Farms, Automatic Fire Systems of Augusta, Industrial Rubber and Supply of Augusta, Tool Brothers Incorporated, Shaky Jordan Motorsports, Southern Thunder Mudway, Palmetto Mudway, Branchville Mudball, Muddy Addiction, all about mud, and 2Gen Solutions. Here we go.
Perfect.
I'm getting it, Bo. We
That's
getting it.
Getting that radio voice. Now, if we could only get those TV faces, we'd be all right.
Yeah, good show. All right, Dave Renfro, we'll see you later. So, yeah, say a lot of racing coming up. Everybody's going racing, so get them ready. And I guess we'll see y'all in a week, 2 weeks.
Yep. Be time to
Keep
get
us
there.
posted. We'll get the shirts. Y'all have a good one. If you need something, holla. Work on them rigs for May and April. All right, y'all, we out. Y'all have a good one.